The sudden announcement and release of The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster has delighted fans of the series, with many hoping that a remake of The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind will also be released in future, but this is possible. While Skyrim was designed with a focus on action and fantasy setting inspired by Norse mythology, Oblivion is more of a classic fantasy roleplay. In this title, in addition to improving skill through experience, player can directly enhance them. The events of Oblivion take place in the lush land of Cyrodiil, and Skyrim take players to its cold, freezing, and harsh nature. While both titles are now readily available on most platforms, there are many doubts that the same will be possible for the third installment of the franchise, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. The Elder Scrolls 3 is set in the Morrowind Empire. You can take on the role of a prisoner who is born on a certain day to unknown parents and sent to Morrowind to investigate a complaint about the unrest in the area, and perhaps play a role in fulfilling a prophecy. It is further revealed that your destiny is to confront the Gother and put an end to deadly diseases, blight and corpus that have contaminated the land. Of all the games in the series, Morrowind has perhaps the most proper names and deepest story details. Of course, this is not disadvantage, as the game offers an engaging experience and allows a player to immerse themselves in this world in deep way. However, this feature can make it difficult for newcomers to follow the story. This will be doubly challenging for today's audience, as the game lacks voiceovers to guide the players through the many texts that each NPC has to offer. However, by 2002, all of these features had become a Morrowind's strength. The game was widely acclaimed, and by 2005, it has sold more than 4 million copies worldwide. Gamers didn't necessarily need to be familiar with background stories or follow an exact path to advance the main missions. They could go into fantasy world with unparalleled detail and travel freely wherever they want. The game catapulted the Elder Scrolls series to global fame, and its combination with unprecedented freedom of action and its quirky and unique world capture the audience attention in a massive way. Oblivion is a fantastic game, but at the same time it can be considered the midpoint between the Skyrim action style and Morrowind role-playing. The title was a big step toward realizing a fantasy and harvesting power, and while increasing popularity and public attention, it lost some of its depth. With the full voiceovers of all non-player characters, there was less room for long conversation about the details, and the conversation were reduced to few narrow topics depending on the context of the conversation. With the addition of mission markers, player can no longer simply wander into the heart of adventure. These markers are very practical and make all the important activities that can be done, but they have made a small missions like returning a ring to the stranger out of place in the game's structure. This change can't be called a simplification of the game, but when comparing games, it feels like Oblivion offers a world with less dynamism and unpredictability than previous titles. Both titles have their place, but giving the series massive dimensions today, making a Morrowind remake or remaster seems practically impossible.